Welcome to Mr. Foy's Easel. I'm going to be drawing some outlines of cartoon bodies to give you an idea of how to position these characters. Make sure that, say for example, this character to be looks right as if he was supposed to be walking down the street or something. Now see, with my pencil I can say that I'm pretty close, and I don't have to go over these pencil lines precisely with my marker, but anyway, I can see that maybe if I had this guy's head tilted the wrong way, I could correct that right now. It's okay though, I believe. So there you have an outline of a character walking. Now I'll fill that in so you can tell more about this guy. His expression indicates that, well, he might be out walking on a nice spring day just for pleasure, or maybe he's walking for his health. But when you try to draw something like this, you don't want to put the character's arms just right down at his side. And you notice I varied that just a little bit, but not enough to make any difference. You want to have, well, just picture yourself taking a walk, and remember how, and for most people, the arms are in motion as they walk. So here's my version of a guy out taking a walk, or maybe he's on the way to get his mail or whatever. Now there are all kinds of walking, and I don't know if you've ever seen this next one or not, but I'll erase those lines in a minute. Here's a dude who's, he's kind of got an attitude as he goes walking. And notice his posture, kind of leaning back while he walks, and hands crammed down in his pocket. And well, if this is a long time ago, maybe he's playing with a yo-yo as he strolls along, or moses along, as some people say. Well, let me ink this one in, and then I'll erase some lines, and you can tell more about these characters. I think there is a subtle difference in these two, and I don't mean just in appearance, but the kind of attitude they are having, that they're express it with their walking style. Some of you may not know what a yo-yo is. At one time it was a very popular toy. So there we have two kinds of walking, and it'll look a bit better when I erase those excessive lines. Well, if you don't have any learning experience about these two drawings, if there's any one thing I'd like you to remember is the importance of using your pencil. And of course, this is easy. You want to put some motion lines, because these are nearly always used when you're depicting someone on the move. Now, in addition to walking, I think I demonstrated the running figure on a previous program, but I'll repeat that. Someone who's running is very likely to be leaning over the other way from this guy here. And arms are going to be different. And of course, the legs will be, because instead of just moseying along, people like this one I'm working on now are picking up speed, you might say. Now he might, I don't know yet, he might be in a marathon of some sort, in a race, or wait, maybe he's running from something. I'll tell you more about that in just a minute. Whatever it is, he's losing his cap. Now, as I take my marker, I can shape this fellow up a little bit more. As I said, I don't have to follow exactly the pencil lines. They just give you an approximate idea of the position of arms, legs, head, so on. These are speed lines, remember, and sometimes, I guess if he's out on a country road, he might be kicking up a little dust as fast as he's going. And if he's running from something, then his eyes might be looking back, sort of like that, you see. Maybe he ran into a bear or something. Well, we've come to halftime now, so we'll take a break, and after the break, look further at cartoon bodies in action or whatever.
Home security is now available through Conway Corp. It's an advanced solution backed by people you know and trust. Customize your system with motion detectors, sensors, light controls, and more, all managed from your wireless touchscreen or mobile phone. It's an easy way to protect the things that matter and the ones who matter most. It's safety for you, powered by Conway Corp.
Okay, we're back now. What about characters, more than one character? In other words, two people and their relationship to each other. Well, I'll give you an example here from a baseball game. Take a little minute to draw a guy kind of like this, but he's running between first and second or second and third or something, and his cap is flying too. But he's hit the ball, he's trying to get on base. And he's like this fellow behind here, he's really in a hurry for a different reason. Of course, there's not anybody chasing him, but there's a member of the opposing team who's just about to make an out or make this guy have an out. In other words, he's running down the baseline, and over here on the base, this confident looking dude, confident looking. When I ink it in, you can tell the confidence a little bit better. And he's standing there practically on the base. He's left-handed, so he's got his glove on this one. And look at the ball. So let me finish this up. And this guy here's a lot bigger than that one. But, if he slides, we may have a close call, but it doesn't look too good for the runner, does it? I think he realizes it. So here's an example of two characters and their relationship to each other, the base runner and the guy who looks like he's about to put his glove around that ball. I think you can understand why this dude here looks pretty confident. If he drops that one, the coach is going to be, or the manager is going to be really angry. Of course, I could have had a opposing member with the ball trying to tag him, you know, back here. That would work just as well. It's the base right here. Sometimes, most times, when a cartoonist draws a person or an animal or running, he'll show a little shadow like he's so fast he's up off the ground much of the time. So let's get the pencil lines out. Of course, there are all kinds of exercises we could do to indicate two cartoon characters in some kind of a match or duel with each other. Oh. But in addition to how you draw them in action, the importance of the expression should not be overlooked. Now let's try another dual cartoon situation between two cartoon characters. Okay. I'm skipping the pencil part here because this one doesn't involve a lot of running or motion of any kind. It's mostly all in the look on their faces, the expression. Or this is the lunch counter and two guys were having coffee and they weren't necessarily friends. They were sitting at the counter. Oops, the fellow on the left has spilled his coffee. Now, what kind of expression? I'm trying to think here. If I spilled my coffee like that, I would be pretty embarrassed with maybe a kind of sheepish grin like that. And he's saying, oops, sorry, ... And this guy's not saying anything, but he has a kind of a disgusted look on his face. And there you have two guys at a lunch counter. One's managed to keep his coffee cup under control, the other one not. Well, let's have a look at one more relationship, which incidentally represents that word I told you about so many times, exaggeration. Perhaps you've heard of people who have a salesman or somebody come into their house and they try to get rid of him, try to invite him to leave, and he just keeps on. And as the fellow at home explains it when he's talking to his fellow workers the next day, he said, I kicked that guy out. So cartoonists sometimes don't just use that as a figure of speech, you know. They want to be literal or exact about it. So notice this motion here, and here goes the salesman, you know, actually up into the air with his hats flying, and kind of a startled expression on his face, and his briefcase or sample case or whatever going out in the air with it. And stay out, he might say. Well, that's all for Mr. Foy's Easel. This time, tune in again and we'll do more bodies and faces. We might do some animals next time.